When I meet new people and I tell them that I'm a self-employed content creator, they expect me to have hundreds of thousands of followers, but that is simply not the case. In fact, I would definitely categorize myself as a micro-influencer. But if you've followed me for a long time, you know that I'm living proof you do not need a huge audience to make a full-time income from content creation. I have been publishing these annual influencer income reports since 2021 to show you how content creators make money beyond just brand deals, and to give you a peek behind the curtain at my creator business. Today, we're gonna break down my influencer income from 2024 together, and I'll start by going through the income stream that made me the least money last year, all the way up through the one that brought in the most money. Plus, I'll reveal which unexpected income stream made up almost a third of my income from last year, and which income stream I am not bringing into 2025. Jumping right in, the income stream that made up 1% of my total revenue from 2024 was my Patreon membership. Why did my Patreon membership only bring in 1% of my total income? Well, I ended up closing my Patreon back in April of 2024, and I completely stand by this decision. For me, my Patreon was this monthly creator resource vault, I feel like is the best way to explain it, where people could pay $1, $3, or $5 a month to access certain resources. I really loved the idea of a Patreon in theory, but I think the thing people don't realize about membership content is you need to make sure you are delivering the same quality of content over and over again, month after month. And for me, it was easy enough for me to batch create resources at the top of the year and schedule them out on Patreon so that I could show up each month, even though I wasn't actively uploading everything. But I knew if I needed to scale, I would either need way more members. I would either need to increase my numbers by a lot, which I had had the membership for 2 years, so I just didn't really see that happening organically, or I would have needed to charge a higher price point and therefore offer more within my membership, which frankly, I didn't really feel like doing either. So for that reason, I closed my membership. I actually have a whole video where I talk more in depth about that decision, so I'll link it in the description box, but since this was just 1%, let's move on. Next is an income stream that accounted for 2% of my total revenue from 2024, and that is consulting. I think consulting is actually probably one of my longest running income streams because people just started asking me one-off like, hey, do you offer consulting? And they offered to pay me, so I said, sure, of course I offer consulting. Now, I really do like the concept of consulting, and I love being able to go deep with someone and meet with them one-on-one to help give them specifically tailored ideas to their needs, because I have a lot of people who have watched my library, let's call it, of creator tips videos here on YouTube over the years, where I'm giving out very general advice, and they sometimes want me to come in and connect the dots to say, looking at my specific situation, what would you suggest? And I like creative problem solving like that. I enjoy meeting people one-on-one, but at the end of the day, there are only so many sessions that I can accommodate in a given month or a given year. So consulting is such a small part of my total income this year because number one, I raised my rates, which I think immediately reduces the number of inbound requests that I get for consulting. And then on top of that, I do sometimes turn down consulting clients if I don't feel like it's a good fit. Really, the only time I will ever do that is if someone is brand new and they have only been creating content for like between 0 and 6 months. That's actually a question I have on my client intake form if you go to my website and look to book a consulting session. And at that point, I feel like there's just not enough data or evidence for us to like create a strategy for you with. So that is one of the reasons why I might turn down a consulting client. I have also just learned over the years that I prefer the one-to-many approach, which is why I love digital courses and why I love being brought in as an expert to other programs and memberships by other influencer educators. So the same way that I am not surprised and not mad about the membership being 1% of my total income, for me, taking on the handful of consulting sessions I did this year was fun, but I'm not really looking to change anything about how I do consulting going into 2025. The next income stream that accounted for 3% of my total income was my digital products. My digital products have now kind of been split into 2 different segments. On one side, I have my creator products and resources that I sell on austentosone.com. So that includes things like my Notion template, Write on Pitch, which is my pitching ebook, invoice templates, rate sheet templates, content batching planners, and things like that. And then in Q3 of 2024, I actually launched my Etsy shop called The Bold Bride. I don't actually think we spoke about it too much here on YouTube, so I can definitely talk more about that in the future at some point if you guys are interested. But I chose to start an Etsy shop based on something completely different because after getting married in 2023, I had created so many of my own Canva PDFs and Google Sheets and all of these different resources that really helped me feel sane and stay organized while I was planning a wedding. And even though I don't see myself talking too much about wedding planning stuff in my content in the future, unless people really wanted me to, I liked the idea of putting all of that into an Etsy shop and kind of having just a totally different brand and something else that I could create that was a little separate from my own business, because on Etsy, you can build an audience based on what people are searching for, and it's not like I needed to have all of this established content and a social media presence specifically related to weddings. I had a pretty decent first month on Etsy, and then things slowed down a little towards the end of the year just because I was only able to launch 2 products last year. I have plans to launch more products this year. And then the creator resource products on austentosone.com, I don't really do a ton of outward marketing for those. I have definitely mentioned them throughout YouTube videos and blog posts in the past, so I think awareness of those products has definitely increased thanks to those that don't require a lot of active marketing from my end. But I'm also aware that there is more free information out there than ever before for content creators. It's one of the main reasons actually that I pivoted my YouTube channel, as you probably saw from a video I did back in October. I obviously still wanted to make this video though, because A, I'm nosy and I find it really interesting, and B, it didn't feel right to not make this video in 2025, given that I have videos from all the way back to 2021. All of that to say that for the content creator digital product, I just feel as though it's gotten more competitive, and I can still continue to drive traffic to my website, and those are still there as a relatively low effort, basically passive income stream for me. But I'm curious to put a little more of my efforts towards Etsy this year and see if I can increase the percentage of digital products in my 2025 total revenue. The next revenue stream that made up 3% of my total 2024 income is affiliates. As you guys know, I think that when it comes to affiliates, they tend to work best at scale. So given that I am a micro influencer, affiliates are never a top income stream for me, and that's okay. I try to spend the majority of my focus with affiliates linking products that I personally have tried and used that I think you'll love. Sometimes I do include affiliate links for products that I haven't necessarily tried yet, but come from brands that I like. For example, I have a couple of blog posts about different footwear. So I have one for the best tall boots, and for that I am able to link out boots from different retailers, and if people read that blog post, click on a pair of boots, and later make a purchase, that's how I make money through affiliates. I also finally launched my Amazon storefront in 2024. So I have my LTK, which is one of the biggest affiliate networks. I have my Amazon storefront, and then I am a direct affiliate for some other brands. I'm talking about things like Canva, Opus AI, Honeybook, all of those kind of systems that I personally love and use. And my plan with affiliates is basically to stay the course. I do now recommend products in my podcast, Create and Consume, from time to time, so that might help me see a little bump in affiliates. But as of right now, I feel like my affiliates are set up really well. I have different idea lists on my Amazon storefront and easy to navigate categories on LTK. If in the future I'm able to grow and get more followers and things like that, I would anticipate my affiliate revenue to kind of just grow organically along with that. But for me, since it's such a small part of my overall revenue, I kind of just let it be as it is. Hey guys, this is editing Austen jumping in for a second because I'm editing this video and I'm like, you forgot one. Another income stream that accounted for 3% of my total revenue for 2024 was platform incentives. And platform incentives include things like the TikTok Creator Fund, Reels bonuses, tipping of any kind, YouTube super thanks, and anything along those lines. And the 2 things that made me the most money in those categories from 2024 were the Threads bonus program and then also the TikTok fund from a couple of viral videos that I had. in January of last year, mostly from our honeymoon in New Zealand. This is one of those income streams that I always kind of just have turned on, but I never expect much from. I think it's really smart to find ways to monetize off platform just as much as you find ways to monetize through these bonus incentive programs. So sorry I completely glazed over that in the video, but I just wanted to make sure we discussed it in case you went back at the end and added up the total of everything and you were like, she's forgetting 3%. That was what it was. Let's move on to an income stream that brought in 7% of my total income for 2024, and that is what I call other. Other is essentially income that I don't intend to make. I don't go into the year expecting to make money from other. It really just is when things pop up and they feel like a good fit or I have the time to accommodate them. That is basically the only way something lands in the other bucket for me. And in 2024, other primarily consisted of two main categories, which was paid research studies. I do these whenever I see a study that is a fit for me as a content creator. I use a site called User Interviews to find studies, which I will link down below if you're looking for a way to just here and there make a little extra money from sharing your thoughts and opinions as a content creator. I like it. I have gotten to connect with some really cool brands through just paid research studies where brands are looking to talk to creators and influencers to learn a bit more about what their current struggles are, what products could help them solve problems, and how they can create products that people actually want to use. Actually, if you guys saw my 2025 reset video, that was in partnership with Trips, and I first got connected to the Trips founders by doing a paid research study with them. So that was back in 2022, and it's really cool to think that just 2 years later, we actually worked together on my YouTube channel. I feel like you just never know what those connections can lead to, and I'm always looking for ways to network, especially from the comfort of my own home. And then the other thing that fell in the other category was product testing, which is something that I have never been paid for previously, but ended up being connected to another income stream that I'll talk about later in this video, being paid to actually test products and share my feedback on them. Let's move right along to another income stream that made up 7% of my total income for 2024, and that is education. Education is what I call money that I make from my digital course, the Influencer Income Accelerator, and also when I am brought into another program or mastermind or group that has hired me to create and teach a workshop about content creation in some way to their community. So I did 2 paid workshops last year for other people's memberships, and then last January I launched version 2 of the Influencer Income Accelerator. Because I only live launched that course once last year, that did kind of limit the amount of money that I was able to make from it, but I am currently in the process of moving the digital course first from Thinkific to Squarespace, just because it's way cheaper, and then it can be incorporated in my branding and like look all nice and aesthetic and everything. And then also the reason I wanted to do that was so that I could put the course as an evergreen option, meaning that there's not just a limited sign-up window. You can enroll basically at any time. So I've had to make some structural changes to the course. I had to change around one of the bonuses to accommodate the being able to enroll whenever of it all. And now that I've done that, I anticipate that I'll see more signups throughout the year, especially since people can sign up whenever they want, take the course on their own time. And I also added some new testimonials and expert recommendations to my sales page. So hopefully all of that together will encourage more people to take the course. I have heard really positive feedback from students about the program, and it's been cool. I follow my students, obviously, so it's cool to see their successes. I think one of them just hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is so exciting. And I know she has been making money from affiliates and AdSense and all of that. It just truly brings me joy. I feel as though the move to Evergreen will help me reach more people, and I will basically just install a new system for myself myself where I pick certain checkpoints to review all the course materials, make updates and everything so that people have the most up-to-date information. Okay, now we're moving into the top 3. So this is where a lot of the fun happens. Coming in at number 3, ad revenue accounted for 12% of my total income in 2024. And the beauty of this is it's pretty much entirely passive. If you're not familiar with ad revenue, I personally earn ad revenue from 2 different places. Number 1 is right here through the YouTube Partner Program. So as you watch my videos and you do see advertisements pop up before, during, or after the video, I do earn money when you watch those ads. So thank you for being here and tolerating the ads. It's one of the ways that I'm able to create all of this free content for you because I still do get paid through the ads. And then the other place where I can earn ad revenue is over on my blog, Keep Calm and Chiffon. And last year, I actually also switched ad networks. I was previously on She Media, which I really liked. I had nothing but good things to say about like their communication and the programming, etc. I had just seen in Facebook groups and heard from other creators that the RPMs on Journey by Mediavine, which is Mediavine's program for growing sites under 50,000 monthly sessions, was substantially higher than what people had seen on She Media. So I decided to make the switch. Also just because I like to be the guinea pig and let you guys know what I think of different programs and different things. Just because I want to expand my YouTube channel beyond creator tips doesn't mean I am not still doing those things and I won't still report back about them to you guys. Right now, I would say I have basically just been going through an adjustment period getting over onto Journey because it has probably taken at least a month for my site to kind of stabilize. When I first joined, my RPM was like $5 and I was like, ugh, that's not what I had on She Media at all. And it has substantially like climbed since then and has been right now right around where She Media was and some months a little higher. So I feel like I still need to give it a little bit of time to just fully acclimate and get going and also see the difference between Q4 when advertisers may be spending more money for ads and see what the reality is in Q1 if they are scaling back their budgets a little bit too. But the reason ad revenue is passive to me is because I don't have to do anything other than publish my weekly content on YouTube and on my blog to make money. And that's something I would be doing anyway. So to make any money in addition to that is just a bonus. Did a bird just fly into my window? I think the snow has really thrown off the birds. We haven't gotten this much snow in a while, so. My number 2 income stream for 2024 is honestly a surprise to me. Freelance writing made up 27% of my income from 2024. Now, those of you who have been here for a really long time, I'm talking like 2018, 2019, will remember my days as a freelance writer. I actually did tons of vlogs back then, so if you find your January subscription box is kind of empty, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I did some pretty good vlogs back in the day, so maybe go back and check a couple of those out. I'll link one down below actually that maybe would be a good one to watch. But I was a magazine editor from 2016 through 2018 and then I got laid off, and one of the ways that I was making money in between jobs was by freelance writing. I absolutely loved freelance writing. I got to write for publications like HuffPost, Fashionista, The Zoe Report, so many that I had looked up to and that had always dreamed of having a byline in. However, I felt like those assignments didn't pay that much and were sometimes few and far between. Like it wasn't really consistent. So the way I was able to survive in New York City back then was, well, my rent was like $1,000. Shout out East Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and the apartment that I lived in there. But then also I was supplementing freelance writing with my blog and social media, which I didn't really know many freelance writers at the time who were doing that. And over the last few years, I really wanted to like brand myself more as a content creator and focus on that because that's what I really wanted to do, and also it typically paid a little better. But at the beginning of last year, this is such a full circle, listen to this, one of my former Nylon interns who I hired, I feel proud because I saw her talent clearly, got a new job as the senior commerce editor at Birdie. Shout out Lauren. Lauren, my former intern, reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in contributing. And I was just so touched, A, that she thought of me, and B, I was so excited because I saw the kind of work they wanted me to do. I felt comfortable with the rate, and it was nice to take a break from the day-to-day of the influencer stuff, because in the past that had been my outlet from writing, and so it was kind of nice to have it be the inverse for a little bit too. I've been loving that. I will link to my Birdie author page down below so you can check out some of the articles I've contributed to. Coming in at number 1, accounting for 35% of my total income for the year, was brand deals. This is not surprising to me. Usually brand deals are my top earning income stream, because even as I get more picky with partnerships over the years, I do increase my rates, get better at negotiating, and really find a way to advocate for myself to get partnerships that feel like a good fit for me. This year, I had one of my highest paying brand partnerships to date, which I'm really proud of. And I absolutely loved all of the brands that I got to partner with this past year. Obviously, you guys got to see my Trips partnership here on YouTube. I also worked with YouTube to create a video about how YouTube changed my life. I did a collaboration with Jason Wu Beauty on Instagram. I did a TikTok partnership with Dove. I did a Pinterest partnership with Sephora at Kohl's for the holidays. I had a great time working with brands this year, and it's of course something that I hope to continue in 2025. Also, if you were curious, my top earning income streams per quarter were as follows. Brand deals made me the most money in Q1, but I will say it was primarily payments from holiday of the previous year, which typically get paid out, net 30, net 60. So a large part of my income from Q1, even though it was from brand partnerships, was from work that I had actually done in 2023. Freelance writing actually was my top earning income stream in Q2 and Q3. I just took on a lot of assignments during that time. And in Q4, my top earning income stream was brand deals. And just for kicks, I thought I would also show you a look at the past 6 years that I have been tracking my creator income. So if you look at 2019 and 2020, and the first 4 months of 2021, those are the years that I was working at Jump Rope, which was a tech startup. A lot of that was just side hustle income, but I was still tracking it at the time. You'll notice that once I became a full-time content creator, like in 2022 and 2023, I had a lot more diversity and I had a better spread of income streams. I think it's really important when you're self-employed to remember not to put all of your eggs in one basket, and that's something that I have talked about ad nauseum on this channel, and that I talk about with fellow creators offline as well. I think we've all come to realize that any platform could disappear at any time, any income stream could go away at any time, and you just want to be prepared for any situation. For me, I think my most unreliable income stream is platform incentives, just because if you have a viral TikTok, you could have a really good month with platform incentives. And when I say platform incentives, I'm talking about the TikTok Creativity Fund, I'm talking about Reels bonuses, I'm talking about super thanks on YouTube. Also, if you ever really love a video or it really helps you, that button is down there, just mentioning. I'm also really happy and relieved that I chose to remove my membership from my income streams in 2024, and I think this is a good reminder that having more income streams isn't necessarily better. Looking ahead to 2025, I really just want to focus on 4 of these income streams, and it's not because I don't care about the other ones, it's just that, as you can see, I do have a handful of income streams that make up a small but still significant portion of my income for the year. The beauty of some of these smaller income streams, though, is that they're there and they exist, and sometimes they make me money. But it's not like I need to actively tend to them or market them beyond what I'm already doing. So the 4 income streams that I do want to focus on for 2025 are brand deals, ad revenue, education, and digital products. In my ideal world, I would love to be making 40% of my income from brand deals. I would love to be making 30% from ad revenue on my blog and YouTube. So that would be almost doubling the percentage of ad revenue that I made in 2024. But I think it's possible with the growth that I foresee for myself this year and what I really want to accomplish. And then a 15% split between education and my digital products. And in an ideal world, I would love to increase those passive income streams like ads and digital products so that I can spend more time on active income streams, create more for you here on YouTube, write more blog posts, stay consistent with the podcast, which currently pays me nothing, and just generally feel that good balance between business and creativity. If you have any questions about any of the income streams I spoke about today, or how to make content creation really happen for yourself in 2025, please leave them down below. I would love to connect with you guys down there and hear what you're thinking and answer any questions I'm able to. And if you're ready to take the leap and become a full-time content creator in 2025, be sure to check out the up next recommendation on the screen with the 5-step strategy that I would recommend. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.